Iran claims Saudi Arabia killed over 3,000 Americans and still gets to have nuclear weapons.
Here's a summary of the article.
Iran's top diplomat has accused Saudi Arabia of killing more than 3,000 U.S. citizens, while at the same time still being allowed a path to obtaining nuclear weapons. Zarif accused the U.S. of hypocrisy as the Trump administration attempted to support Saudi Arabia in building its nuclear program, tweeting, "Kill 3,000+ Americans but remain a U.S. client and you can have nuclear weapons, even get help in acquiring them." The statement is a likely reference to the fact that 15 of the 19 al-Qaeda-affiliated hijackers involved in the 9/11 attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people, the vast majority of which were U.S. citizens, were Saudi citizens, and other alleged links between Riyadh and jihadi groups that target Washington's interests. Trump acknowledged in January that Iran is killing ISIS, also known as the Islamic State militant group, and back in 2011 called Saudi Arabia the world's biggest funder of terrorism. The president argued that the conservative Sunni Muslim kingdom funnels our petrodollars, our very own money, to fund the terrorists that seek to destroy our people while the Saudis rely on us to protect them. He was also a vocal supporter of the Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act that would allow those affected by 9/11 to sue Saudi Arabia. Iran and Saudi Arabia officially cut ties following a spat in which Saudi Arabia executed a popular Shiite Muslim cleric and Iranian protesters burned down Riyadh's embassy in Tehran. While Iran has insisted it did not seek nuclear weapons, these powers remain skeptical and, while Israel was believed to already possess such weapons of mass destruction, Saudi officials have said they too would build such a bomb if Iran sought it too. About a week after Republican staff of the House Oversight Committee cleared the Trump administration of breaking federal laws in its quiet, nuclear dealings with Saudi Arabia, House Oversight Committee Democrats issued a new report Tuesday identifying the administration's willingness to let private parties with close ties to the president wield outsized influence over U.S. policy towards Saudi Arabia. The U.S. has so far struggled to attain significant backing for a joint maritime mission in the strategic region, while Iran has continued discussions with the remaining nuclear deal parties, as well as regional powers, such as Saudi neighbors Oman, Iraq and even the United Arab Emirates.
This post received a score of 11,279, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Never forget the 9/11 bombers were Saudis.
Even Trump said so on the campaign trail in his rallies.
He pretty much made a 180 on SA almost immediately, did the same thing to WikiLeaks and Assange, disgusting man.
I remember his supposed tough stance on SAW was a talking point for some Republicans. They championed it for like 6 months.
Saudi Arabia, and I get along great with all of them. They buy apartments from me, Trump said in Mobile, Alabama. They spend $40 million, $50 million. Am I supposed to dislike them? I like them very much. Link.
In 2015, the signs were always there. On 9/11, he acted as though he had just received a gift. 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan, and it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest, and then, when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest. Mr. Trump said, "And now it's the tallest." It wasn't.
Well, they aren't wrong.
No, they were saying boo earns. Well shit, hasn't Iran learned anything from the news? All they need to do is pay a few $100 million on some shitty overpriced condos from one of Trump's properties, and suddenly they'll be a great country and he'll veto anything preventing sales of military equipment, nuclear technology to their country.
Offer to name the first nuke after him and he will be quick to hand over anything they want.
Damn, I hadn't thought of that. Just send him a pic with a golden Trump stamp on it and he'll do anything for them.
Iran. That was supposed to stay secret.
Then maybe don't tell the whole world over 15 years ago. I hear that helps keeping a secret.
But we don't make billions from Iran.
Not with that attitude you don't. You could, but you'll gotta hold a grudge like you're China or something.
Iran isn't being sanctioned because of its nuclear program or its human rights abuses, but because it is committing the sin of opposing America and its allies in the region. That's why the current administration doesn't give a single fuck about the nuclear deal. If Iran became pro-America and withdrew all outside forces, the sanctions would be lifted overnight, nuclear commitments be damned. It's an obvious point that everyone knows, but still needs to be made, especially as the facade continues. Bingo! If Iran turned into a secular democratic nation overnight, the US would still want to cripple and terrorize the population and call for regime change to ensure installation of puppets loyal to American corporate interests. They basically did exactly that in the 50s at the behest of British oil companies.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.